Look, the other person I didn't invite on today, though I could have, was, do we have time to do this? We do. Was David Seymour. Over the weekend, if you're on social media and you have no life, you will have seen a story kicking around that a guy called Tim Jago, who a while ago was the president of the ACT Party, which is a voluntary position. I don't think they even get paid. Tim Jago was convicted last year of 2 cases of sexual assault against young men, one of them over 16 and one of them, I think, 14 at the time of the offending, which occurred around 20 years ago. 20 years ago when David Seymour was in his mid-teens. It occurred, at least one of the offenders occurred when Mr. Jago was a senior member of the Muriwai Surf Lifesaving Club. So it was all about young people in the Surf Lifesaving Club. And quite rightly, even after all these years, Mr. Jago has been tried by a jury of his peers, convicted and sent to prison for a couple of years, though he is currently on home detention and appealing his conviction. All that apparently is enough to make David Seymour a pedo or a pedo supporter, and to be honest, to make me an enabler. The ridiculous witch hunt and, to be honest, mad frenzy, feeding frenzy of the left on social media, and most of you I know will miss this because you don't follow it, has seen everyone say that, and this man had name suppression for 2 years, which he finally gave up over the weekend, or last week. And we have had figures as senior as Chris Hipkins, the leader of the Labour Party, accuse David Seymour and the ACT Party of covering up this man's crimes and assisting him in keeping name suppression. I challenged Chris Hipkins to come on the program this morning and stand that up, but he won't. And the reason is he can't, because Chris Hipkins is blatantly misleading you and lying. Here is what he said on X. The ACT Party attacks the courts when it suits their political purposes, but then hide behind name suppression with one of their owners charged and convicted of sexual abuse. Disgraceful. No, what's disgraceful, Chris Hipkins, is that you know damn well the ACT Party had nothing to do with this criminal offending, or with this case, or with the name suppression. You know that for a fact, Mr. Hipkins. Also, that is rich, coming from the leader of a political party that got sexual complainants to sign non-disclosure forms and wouldn't go to the police about a number of sexual allegations against the Labour Party. And what you are trying to do is guilt by association and suggest somehow that the ACT Party was in any way complicit, had prior knowledge of this offending, or attempted to keep it secret. And quite simply, the facts tell us they did not. Chris Hipkins, I think this country has come to a sorry pass. I note too that Willie Jackson's come out and backed him up on this, because he's getting what they call in social media ratioed. Everyone is calling Chris Hipkins out and saying, stop lying. Chris Hipkins, the Labour Party used to be better than this. You didn't make things up and scream pedophile at your political opponents because you had some decent ideas and some chance of appealing to middle New Zealand. I challenge you still, Chris Hipkins, to stand up your mudslinging, or just wipe it off and say sorry like the good little troll that you are. I also note I have had a bit of a Twitter war with a guy called Jermaine Clement of Flight of the Conchords about this over the weekend. And because I have had the temerity as a journalist to try and make sure that people deal with facts, I too have been labelled by Jermaine Clement someone who protects pedophiles and might be a pedophile myself. I love your comedy, Jermaine Clement. I think you're one of the most talented New Zealanders of my generation. But don't be a dick, which is what you have been. I'm not standing up for pedos, nor was David Seymour. He got a complaint from one of the victims wives before they'd been to the police. It had nothing to do with the ACT Party. It had happened 20 years previously. And what he did was he got a Facebook message. He got a company lawyer, an employment lawyer, and he said, talk to this person. We'll establish the facts. She didn't, and finally did the decent thing, went to the police, and everything else followed. Nothing to do with the ACT Party. And the day that he was charged, Tim Jago resigned from the ACT Party. Done. Dusted. Nothing to see here unless you're a pathetic little troll like many members of the Labour Party, Jermaine Clement and Chris Hipkins. Said it. Good.